I see.
Here we go.
And here we go, spawning on the right-hand side of the map for Alpha X. This is Demi.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Protoss player. He is blue, representing Team Blazer. It is Ziomek.
Oh, oh dear God, this natural.
All right. Here we go, Papi. Here we go. This is the first time I'm also laying eyes on this map as well. I'm not too familiar with it.
Oh, the decals at the bases are so cool.
Decals.
Decals.
It's a.
Okay. This natural is like unholdable. We had this in this map pool as well a little bit. These naturals being this far away from the actual base makes it really, really hard as Terran to hold the wall. I think it's just Gressvan that we saw it with on this map pool, where basically you can't full wall as a Terran. You have to go for these kind of weird looking half walls just because Stalkers will just pick away at everything because you have to keep your tank tucked against your CC. But then this map has the added problem of this double Reaper ledge on the side here, where Stalkers can basically threaten the front of your natural wall and then blink into the main, and then they have room to work in the main as well. This map's going to be really rough for defending Stalkers.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was going to bring up here, is the fact that because this natural base is like a little bit further in, and like it just kind of provides like this kind of faceted attack here where you can threaten the natural and also go into the main base at the same time as well.
I mean, as Terran, you have too many spots to defend here because you need to have a tank here to defend the natural wall. You need to have one like here close to your base, and then you also need to kind of defend like here, which is really weird because they can be picking away at the building and the wall that's like there, but they can also threaten to jump in here.
Oh, so you're saying it's balanced, Papi. It's balanced.
It's rough. TVZ though, I could see this being a really cool TVZ map.
Yeah, from TVZ, it's like the opposite factor where it feels like your natural is that much more defensible because you do have like this kind of protruding main where you can maybe put a tank up there as well to like help cover your lower base and stuff like that. So yeah, when it comes to some of the other matchups, it's quite an interesting feature.
Yeah, TVZ is really interesting. Like you said, you've got this nice little ledge on the main here. Good open spaces to take fights through the center as well, especially with those rocks in the middle there. So yeah, I think this would be a really nice map for TVZ. I think just the shape of the main is going to be a little bit difficult to work with.
Yeah. And again, so this is why I need you here, because you got the brain for TVP, Papi. You got the talking points for the TVP unwinnable.
Sure.
Oh my god. But yeah, you're not wrong. This is a main that is, going to be quite interesting for that matchup. A matchup that we don't have on our hands, unfortunately. It is going to be a ZvP instead. And yeah, from here we've had some pretty standard openers from both players. Nothing too crazy. Macro.
Yeah, looking very standard. We just have just the kind of stock standard Adept Oracle opener coming out from Ziomek will allow him to get a fast third here. Demi just going to put pressure on, get that energy coming out from the Oracle and make sure that he's keeping that Oracle at home just to keep the Protoss player in the dark, and that also helps him cut a few corners here and there.
100%. I guess to catch everyone up, it was a hatchgas pull by Demi. He gets his third base up on time as well, so we've just been droning. We've just been chilling. Only Lynx to threaten the third base, and Ziomek did go for a Stargate opener, so he is safe to take a faster third to expand and to harass a little bit. And we should be seeing a Twilight Council soon, as we had a much faster Forge instead.
Yeah, okay. I mean, typically when we're seeing this, it is often for a charge Archon attack, I believe, because that does give you that faster +1. Although I have noticed with a lot of the European players that they have their own kind of stylistic ways of going into similar styles, and it can just be for a more standard macro game.
Yeah, exactly. It can be a little bit hard to read, but of course the big advantage is that Ziomek will have a much faster +1 available. We'll see if it is for that Charge Lot Archon. As things going to be settling down a little bit here, and yeah, I didn't get to see too much more of the map, but I guess the center portion can be a little bit more open, but at the same time, kind of like that last map as well. There's kind of a lot of ramps to take advantage of, and it's not it's not as open as some of the others.
I mean, these rocks here is exactly what I was saying that I think the last map needed, where it is kind of closed off at the start, but towards the center of the game, once Zerg can break down these rocks, they're actually going to have the ability to send run-bys, to get surrounds, things like that, things that Zerg needs to be doing with the Lingbane. So I think this map is going to be a lot more comfortable for Zerg players than the last one. As we do have the 3 Oracles going to be diving in, not finding too much damage, Demi doing a really good job shooing those away with the Queen. Yeah, I actually find this base fascinating. This is a really cool spot to have a base, and I can't remember any map that has this layout.
I can think of a 2v2 map. like a team game map. But yeah, you're not wrong when it comes to 1v1s. It is really interesting. Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Yeah, it's like very exposed, but at the same time not. And I could definitely see a lot of benefit to taking it, but I mean, you can take these rocks down and attack through here. I think it's... I actually really like the full base setup on this map. I think it's going to make for some interesting, attack and defense setups.
Yeah, like you can take advantage of these ramps, but the ramps are also quite large. But like if you do get a handle of this, then it can be relatively safe. But then you get those rocks as well that can be exposed. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, as you were saying. Very, very unique compared to especially what we have now with the current map pool.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, I think most games would be playing out with those rocks being broken and then an attack coming through there on the flat ground into the 4th. I can see a lot of games kind of revolving around that happening in the mid game, but at least for now, it's going to be Ziomek going for a very fast double robo going into Mass Colossus, and this is definitely something we've been seeing lately. And Demi, doing his own thing. He's always been a big fan of the mutas. It's kind of his signature unit, and he's going to be going quite early into them here, and I think that's very nice against a robo opener. Yeah,
Demi is the C Muta King, and when it comes to this build, we actually saw it earlier today, Leo Rusher versus Scott. The game that Leo Rusher won was a more macro-oriented game where he did get up to 4 bases, was relatively passive with his overall opener, and rushed into this double Colossus production. We're going to be working up to 4 Colossi, and then working on Disruptor production behind this. But as you pointed out, none of this shoots up.
I'm trying to think of devious things that you could do with the double Reaper ramp. You could I was wondering if you can wall off the natural and then jump in and out.
You're an animal, Puffy. Why your brain is just thinking these disgusting thoughts. Oh, stop it.
It's interesting, but yeah, okay, so Demi as well is going to be running in here with the mutas, kind of making use of this setup of the bases where they're quite far away from each other, where it's going to be a little bit difficult for the Protoss defensively to rotate between these bases, and there's actually very slow reaction here. He's going to be taking out a lot of the probes, and that is because Ziomek is committing to his push.
Yeah, exactly. Mutas, they revealed themselves earlier. We do have a lot of Blink Stalkers available for Ziomek. He's pushing out across the map. Instead, he wants to try to end the game. He's in a way being forced all in because he's losing a lot of probes across the map. Oh.
Yeah, he is, and the Banelings are getting on top of the Colossus. This is really key to defending these kind of plays here. You really want to take out the Colossus count with the Banelings just running on underneath them, but the Colossus have not been taken out. 4 of them still remain. They survive, and with Demi losing all his Banelings, he's now in a really rough spot. Oh, the Biles!
The Biles, they sniped down 2 of those Colossi just in time. There was some friendly fire earlier, by the way. A good chunk of the Banelings of Demi went down to his own. Biles was a little bit rough to watch, but he is slowly holding. He does have more reinforcements coming in. He's trying to break this.
Oh, and I just had a look at the mutas up in the corner. That is so much dead space. You're gonna
That's
have
insane.
a bad time against BCs here.
That's huge. That's like a whole base right there, just in nothingness. It's crazy. As here we go, we do have the Roach Ravager pushing on forward once again. We're running out of stalkers, we're running out of buffer for these Colossi, and we are getting on top of them.
Oh, apparently the corpses float in a weird way sometimes. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for that.
Oh god, as we do see the base in the end has gone down for Demi. The mutas are still just wreaking havoc across the map. Ziomek down to 41 pros. Once again, the Biles connect!
Biles on the Colossus once again, and I feel like Ziomek, if he hadn't taken Biles on the Colossus at all here, if he still had those 4 Colossus, this game would be absolutely in the bag, but as it is, Demi is actually starting to push this back.
Yeah, he takes down the final Colossus with those reinforcements from behind. Demi has held, Demi has attacked, and GG gets called. Demi takes game number 1.
Wow, GG, and nice job from Demi, the mutas clinching in that game.
Exactly. They weren't just doing damage, but they were also forcing Ziomek all in. They forced his hand. That's why he was so committed with his push. And to be fair, he almost was able to pull it off, but maybe a little bit distracted by the mutas. Did take some pretty big blasts to the face.
Yeah, that's a good point. That definitely could be distracting him at the same time. Just trying to organize his defense back at home and minimize the damages, but Demi going to be taking game 1. It looked a little bit shaky at times, but he got it done, so I'm sure he's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. As game number 2, ooh, we have seen this map before earlier in the day. We had like a little bit of like a show match sort of thing to kick things off. It is going to be Eco Brutalism, which is a really interesting name for a map.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I guess that probably refers to like brutalist architecture, which is like really blocky, like cement architecture.
Maybe.
As here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of this map for Alpha X, this is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Eco Brutalism, we have the Polish Protoss player. He is blue, representing Team Blazer. It is Ziomek.
Oh, this map's gorgeous. I really like it.
Yeah, it's the orange really pops out in the foliage. Like it really just like, yeah, accentuates what a lot of this looks like. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for any like nature-y sort of maps. Like I always love Maris's maps, and I really liked that snowy forest map as well.
Yeah. I'm getting like some like cyber forest vibes. That was like a previous map in an older map pool, but yeah, you've got like the sci-fi tech with like the overgrowth trying to break through as well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a classic StarCraft trope. It feels very StarCraft.
Yeah.
Kind of like sci-fi with like the nature-y sort of overtaking stuff. It's a bit like Zerg, I guess.
For sure. Oh, so yeah, very pretty map aesthetically. I'm trying to remember what were the features of this map. Oh right, like the triangular throat is like giga open. I remember that. I remember that definitely standing out to me.
Yeah, I think it's not too bad just because there's not too much space between the ramps and the base. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be like horrendous. I guess as Terran, you're probably going to take the line train.
Yeah, the linear third would probably be a little bit more.
It's a bit like it's like Oxide. I think the good thing about taking the triangle is you get to take the left base after, and then you're just like really secure. Yeah, the base layout's nice. More of a standard base layout than some of these other maps has been, which, you know, good and bad. I appreciate the creativity of the other maps, but as a player, I definitely prefer a more standard layout.
For sure, I can understand that. Once again, we have that 1 Hex Reaper cliff as well into the main.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's also, I can't remember what map that it's on in this pool, but you can also, you're going to be able to plug that with a queen and get the unit stuck.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Well, between the minerals, you can just stand a queen
Yeah.
between the minerals, and the Reaper's going to be stuck there, and you just kill it.
Yeah.
What was the map that... I think it was Gressfan that we saw that on, where then the queen got grenaded into the gap, and then it like creep tumored its way back out.
Yeah, that was Cyril. Cyril did that. That was crazy. Oh my god.
I don't think there's enough room for that to happen on this map, but you could still do the trick that he was doing with like the queen blocking in the Reaper.
Yeah, for sure. Oh boy. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting if we ever get to see that on camera. If it does, if we do get some more TVZs on this map. But for the time being, again, pretty standard opener here from Demi going for that hatch gas pool. He's sending out a flood of lings, or just a wave of lings just to poke and prod. We can see Ziomek though is switching gears from his initial Stargate opener. Did only make one Oracle.
Yeah, okay, and he is going to be setting up for that Nexus, but it's going to be the Glaives attack, is it? Okay.
I'm feeling that. I mean, so we do have a third base on the way, but there is no Forge with this. So is it going to be? Yep, it's going to be Glaives.
The other thing I'm noticing about this map, I can't help it. Look at the Terran kind of properties. The first thing I'm wondering is if that Reaper jump can be walled off with a pylon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is like completely competitively viable.
Yeah.
Oh, we get the cancel on the third. Last minute cancel there. So Demi picking off the perfect amount of links. The other thing that I am worried about is this kind of center area here. I feel like as the Terran, if you can set up a push here against even Zerg as well, you could like work your way in here from the fourth, but especially against Protoss, you set up like bunkers and stuff there. Protoss can be super sad. There's just like a huge platform here in front of the natural. I've noticed a few of these maps have it.
Yeah. It's something that I guess we're not really too used to, but yeah, it is quite a large open area that can be taken advantage of. But that's not really going to come into play here because we were freaking out about it before. This has become quite trendy in current meta, and that is to go from a Stargate opener to make it look like a standard opener with that third Nexus, but we're going to Glaives instead.
Yeah, so Demi sees it with the Lings, the Roach Warren finishing up just now. He needs to buy himself a lot of time for this to work out for him. The third base hasn't been threatened yet. The Shade has a long way to travel, but he's going to finish that to fight the Lings. I think that's a really good choice, but Demi with some beautiful micro, going to be getting the full surround on the Adepts, and that means that the Queens can get over to help fighting, and the Queens are getting so much damage. They've bought so much time for the Roaches as well, and almost every Adept has gone down, and this has really backfired for Ziomek.
It really has, and we didn't even need the Roaches to defend. That's how well Demi did hold on here. He completely shuts it down, and now Ziomek is in a terrible position. His third base was cancelled earlier. On top of that, because we went into Glaives, we don't have any tech. Our charge or blink is delayed, +1 is delayed. Like, we are pretty far behind.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be really rough here. Do you see this game going to be developing out a little bit more from here on?
Oh, yeah.
That means we're going to be able to see what Demi wants to do here.
Yeah, he's going to be able to hold on to his saturated third. He opts not to throw down a fourth. He's definitely got that option. He has the freedom to do so. He's going to be spreading creep. Then we go. The highway is being set up here by Demi. He's going to be going for his own massive counter push.
Okay, I mean, we still do have a fair rush distance here, so going to be a little bit of a ways to go, but yeah, looks like he's just kind of springboarding this creep spread, and he does have a lot of queens. He's continuing to make queens as well, so he's going to be committing quite hard to this push here.
Yeah, he really is, but again, he has the advantage right now. His opponent has vanilla gateway units to defend, no Bay, no Disruptors, no Colossi. We do have a Templar Archives. We've been taking up quite a bit, but Ziomek, his ground army is just tiny.
Yeah, no nonsense from Demi. He does not want to give Ziomek the space to get back into those Colossus, to get into maybe Disruptors or anything like that can get him back into the game. Demi just wants to end it here and now. And he's actually going to section off the army from the bases as well. That is really tough for the Protoss to deal with.
Yeah, it really is. Again, we were talking about this open area outside the natural before, and that's exactly where Ziomek got caught out. The first Immortal does fall. The second one gets focused down.
Yeah, and I'm seeing already this kind of push from the Protoss is going to be so hard to deal with on this map, just because Queens can set up through this area in the middle, and Protoss has to kind of split their defenses between both bases. Of course, Ziomek had such a rough start, a rough clean up against his all-in, so he wasn't really going to be able to anyway. But yeah, I could see this being a bit more common here.
Yeah, GG, well played. Ziomek having a bit of a rough execution of that glaive up build. I think the other added thing to that is that because, you know, with that glaive up follow-up, there is no prism, you do have to send it across the map, and we saw that it is quite a ways to traverse, and Demi was able to get eyes on it really quickly, so he was able to respond relatively quickly as well to what he was seeing. Again, didn't even need the roaches, to be fair. Like, his link positioning was just so damn good.
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked the idea from Ziomek, just kind of baiting out the Lings and then hoping to shave them off, but Demi just gets us around there, and that was all he needed.
That was all he needed, and with that, Demi moves on to the grand finals, where he has an opponent ready and waiting for him, just trying to find said maps. Un momento, papi, un momento. Oh.
Okay, no worries. Actually, they're on the bracket, so I can find them.